Welcome to Crap That Therapists Say. In this segment, I react to comments that we get from you, the light menders, about terrible advice that you've received from therapists. Now look, I love therapists. I am a therapist. Therapists do a tremendous amount of good in the world, but sometimes they're a little off base. And so you send me your comments and tell me, I think this was off base. Jonathan, what do you think? So let's start with this one. Should we stay together for the kids? A therapist told me that we should, that it would do our kids great damage if we broke up. So let's explore the different facets of that, shall we? For a long time, the supposition was that children, the absolute best thing for a child was to be raised in a two-parent home, right? And don't get me wrong, the two-parent home has a lot of fantastic advantages all across the board. From the partnership to the tag teaming to not doing everything by yourself to there's somebody with the kids most of the time because, there's two of you, you can spread things out more, and they can learn different lessons from different people, different strengths from different parents, different tools, and feel like they have someone, often their same gendered parent, as a role model for this is what I'm looking to be in my life. But all of that presupposes that the family is healthy and happy. I was raised in a two-parent home, and my parents were happily married, and I can tell you it was a wonderful thing. And by happily married, did they have disagreements? Absolutely. Did they have hard times? Yeah. Talking to my dad now as an adult, did they have times where the closeness ebbed and flowed? Yeah, and they had to circle back and find it again? Yes. But overall, I didn't have a home where my parents were screaming at each other. I didn't have a home where they were throwing things or breaking things. I didn't have a home where they insulted each other and tore each other down and manipulated and used and hurt each other. I didn't have a home where either parent felt trapped and felt like this wasn't the life that they wanted. I didn't have a home where I felt that constant tension that comes from contention. The assumption that kids are automatically better off if the parents stay together is absolutely true if the parents want to stay together. A happy marriage is a very stable environment for children to be raised in. But what happens if the marriage is unhappy? Well, we don't want to just jump the gun and go, well, if we're unhappy, let's just cut it loose and divorce. I mean, I think the purpose of marriage, for better, for worse, sickness and in health, richer or poorer, is that life is going to be hard, but I've got your back, right? Life is going to be hard, but I am your companion and your partner through it all. And to be fair, I don't think a lot of people jump quickly to divorce. Most people that I've encountered, if their marriage ends in divorce, they put a lot of work into trying to make it work, a lot of energy, a lot of heartache, a lot of giving it their all. And, in the best cases, they go to therapy and they say, okay, we really want to make this work. We want to take a hard look at ourselves as individuals, at our patterns, at our thinking, at our behaviors, at our habits, at our assumptions, at our insecurities, at our fears. And we want to emerge as healthier people to be healthier for each other. And we want to make this work because we had love and we want to rediscover it. Or we still have love, but we're having a hard time making it work. So they seek out the help. That said, there are times when two very good people can't make it work. And that's an even harder situation as far as deciding whether to stay or not than in some ways if the relationship is toxic. Because if the relationship is toxic, it's easier to say, we should be done. The kids are hearing us scream at each other all the time. There's violence or there's aggression, physical or verbal or emotional. You're miserable, I'm miserable, and it's not getting any better. And neither of us is being the parent that we could be to our children because of this dynamic. When that's happening, or if you feel like your partner is cruel to the children, it may be easier to say we should be done because this isn't healthy. Now, easier is relative. It's still difficult. It's difficult to do this with a life that you've built together with somebody. And in cases of danger, or if they're being cruel to your children, you may also struggle with divorcing because you don't want to share custody and then have the kids go over to your partner's house and you're not there to protect them. So it's all difficult. But what I was getting at is if the relationship is toxic, it may be clear that it needs to end, right? I think we generally have the idea that, yes, children do well in two-parent homes as long as the marriage is strong and thriving. And if the marriage is struggling, still keep the marriage and try and work through. But if the marriage is toxic, We generally think, yeah, we should be done because it's better for the kids to be in a single parent home or to be in a blended family situation or two different homes if the environment is happier and healthier because they're not married anymore. Like, that's a better thing for the kids. But where we struggle is we care about each other and we have a good relationship as friends, right? Or we care about each other and we've put so much time and energy into it, and you're not a bad person and I'm not a bad person, so we really need to try and make it work. It's harder to be done in that circumstance, and some people would say you should never be done in that circumstance. But the fact is, there are relationships that just don't work. No matter how much time, no matter how much energy, no matter how strong your relationship skills are, your communication skills are, there are times when people don't work as a partnership because they want different things out of life. They have different values, or they are, instead of being different people but more towards the center and learning and growing from each other, they're polar opposites. But if you're polar opposites in personality and temperament and the things that you enjoy and the things that you want, it may not be something that you can make happen. I know couples. When I was in graduate school, one of my supervisors, she and her ex-husband not only remained friends, they were closer after they got divorced. They were closer after they got divorced because they weren't relying on each other in life anymore. Right? Their partnership wasn't working, but they had a beautiful friendship and co-parenting relationship, and she adored him and he adored her, but it was different. They were no longer in love. And they thought about staying together for the kids because it wasn't toxic, it wasn't a nightmare. And some people would say, well, if it's just hard, you just stick it out. Well, there's hard and there's my mental health and my emotional health are suffering because of this dynamic. And we are doing everything we can to fix it, and over an extended period of time, it's not getting any better. And in their case, they said, for our own well-being as people, because we want such different things out of life, we need to break it off. Conversely, I know couples who stayed together for the kids and found their love again. And I know couples who stayed together for the kids, and it was miserable for the couple and for the kids. The kids are like, you're not doing us any favors. When the parents say after the kids move out, we're getting a divorce, the kids say, you should have done that 6 years ago. The fact is, it's complicated. There is no one-size-fits-all answer for every couple, for every individual, about what they need out of life, what's best for the children, what's best for the couple. We need to treat each other with a considerate amount of grace. That we don't understand all the dynamics at play, that we don't understand the emotions and the needs and the thoughts and the feelings of the people involved, and that what's right for one person may not be what's right for another. And we need to honor each other's choices. So when a therapist says, you should stay together for the children, that's not categorically true. In fact, in many cases, the children are better off if the parents are divorced because the children don't live in contentious homes. Now, I would say that if you're fighting when you're married and then you get divorced and you're still fighting, you haven't done anybody any favors, right? The whole point of that divorce is to leave that conflict behind and focus on what's best for the children, which should be the one thing that you agree on is we want what's best for the kids. Even if you don't agree on what is best, like you should leave behind the hurts and the pains and the jealousies and the contention and the conflict of the past. It doesn't matter anymore. So if you divorce and you're still fighting, you need divorce mediation. It's not couples counseling, but we are co-parents now. So how do we make that work? How do we navigate that, right? So should you stay together for the kids? No. Yes? Maybe. It depends on your circumstances and who you are. I will say, though, that in my personal opinion, I don't want to be with somebody who doesn't want to be with me, right? I wouldn't want to stay in a marriage that's just for the kids. Because if it's just for the kids, we can still parent together, you know? We can still give our all for them. We can still be partners in that sense. So do you want me or not? And that's the question. And if the answer is I'm not sure or no, or but maybe I could find it again, do some couples counseling. Put in the work and see if you can get back on track. And if you can't, it's a hard transition to make. But I know a lot of people who are happier and healthier post-divorce and in better relationships post-divorce. I also know people who wish that they stayed together, which is my way of saying it's complicated and there's no clear path. But you tease it out. You tease out the different options and you explore the paths and you make the best choice you can make, and then you live with that choice. So, hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, check out Sex Fixes Everything. That's another crap therapist say, where a therapist said, hey, you're having relationship problems, just have more sex. That'll fix everything. Yeah, check that out. What do you think about staying together for the kids? When is it a good idea? When is it a terrible idea? What has been your experience with this? Let us know in the comments below because we love to learn from you. If you are going through a divorce, we have an online course combined with counseling that we offer, this package, to help guide you through that process. Go to mendedlight.com and schedule a complimentary 15-minute consultation with a member of our team today. As always, folks, keep shining because we need your light.